Here it is, Honeyglow Woods Ranking Edition, the first adventure pack for Disney Dreamlight Valley. I'm saying the first because we all know they will continue adding more from here on out. At the end of this video, I will give my predictions of what other game packs I believe we might get, which is full speculation on my part of course, but I thought it would be a fun little addition. Despite this appearing like a shameless cash grab that could have easily been a part of Wish Blossom Ranch, I was pleasantly surprised, which in turn surprised me. With that being said, I still agree with the points I made in this video before this pack was released. When I booted Honeyglow up, I did try to go in with an open mind. And honestly, I did have fun. And I can see myself spending more time in this world even after finishing the main story. Rather than making an entirely new ranking video, I'm going to rank this adventure pack in comparison to the 3 DLCs and the main story of the video that I already did. If you want to see how I got to my original ranking, you can watch the video. Today, I'll only explain my reasoning behind the new ranking order, including Honeyglow Woods. These are the 5 categories: the main story, fullness, decorating items, features, and map. Disclaimer once again, none of the opinions voiced in this video are meant to come off as hate towards the developers. Spoilers for everything surrounding this adventure pack. The first dive we take is into the main story. In truth, my expectations were incredibly low for this first adventure pack, as evidenced in my first video. I fully expected them to simply need a little bit of extra cash and run away with it, throwing in the towel a little bit and just giving it to us. Which didn't turn out to be the case, I was incorrect about that. To me, the main story kept me invested enough to keep playing, but didn't necessarily wow me. The gameplay of the main story was reminiscent of Storybook Vale and Wish Blossom Ranch, with elements of both crossing over into this adventure pack, which, if you don't have those DLCs, could be an entirely new experience to a player. The puzzles were a fun way to keep us in areas longer, but they could be more challenging and less repetitive in case you do own the DLCs. The conclusion could be smelled from the beginning. Once again, it was us that caused some of the problems here in the Honeyglow Woods, and it was up to us to solve it all, which is the 3rd time they went with this storyline. It didn't feel as forced or copy-pasted as it did in Wish Blossom Ranch though. This story felt a lot more organic to me than that DLC did. I talked at length about this in the other video, but it's saying something about the quality and lack thereof regarding that DLC. Also, I feel like the personal quests of the villagers felt very in character, and I liked how they included the villagers from the main valley. It just all felt like it came together and it felt very natural. This was the original ranking of my first video. The 4th place went to Wish Blossom Ranch, the 3rd place to Storybook Vale, the 2nd to the main valley, and the 1st place to Eternity Isle. Now, this adventure pack comes in at the new 4th place, pushing Wish Blossom Ranch back to the 5th spot. Storybook Vale was stronger and longer, which makes sense because it was a DLC, but again, it's saying a lot about the story quality and lack thereof of Wish Blossom Ranch. When you get outshined by an adventure pack which costs less than half your amount, you really know you didn't do your story right. On to the 2nd category, fullness. If you didn't see the last video, I get that this might be a little confusing, but what I mean with it, how complete does the world feel? Do I return here because I have to keep an eye on my resources or because I enjoy spending time here in Honeyglow? To my big surprise, I have been putting a lot of hours into this world. When the adventure pack was released, I was scared it was going to be the size of a realm. Imagine my surprise when I opened the map for the first time and saw we had 4 areas. And they feel big when you start out. There are 2 smaller areas and 2 bigger ones. They feel connected, but unique in their own sense. I will also say, I am an autumn woman. I love my orange, yellow and brown hues. So this world fits me perfectly. I rarely start decorating from the get-go. I usually am very focused on the story first. But just like Storybook Vale, I was so inspired to start working right away, to really make it my own. And I love running around here. Maybe even purely because of the size. It's big enough to allow bigger projects to be built, but not too big to feel overwhelming as Storybook Vale sometimes might. Wish Blossom Ranch less, but that's also pretty big. There are some areas left where I feel they could expand upon if they so wished, just like certain places in Eternity Isle and in the main valley. Not that I believe they will ever return to expand Eternity Isle or Honeyglow necessarily, not for free anyway, but there are areas that would fit that need. So it looks finished, but it also looks like there are easy areas for expansion. The original ranking was last place for Eternity Isle, the third was for Wish Blossom Ranch, then we have the main valley, and in first came Storybook Vale. Now, this was a difficult one for me, but I do have to give it this ranking. In terms of this category, Eternity Isle gets put back in 5th place, Wish Blossom Ranch goes to 4th, and the main valley gets to the 3rd spot, while Honeyglow Woods takes the 2nd spot for me. You can stone me later. Let me explain first. I like my valley, but I have had trouble decorating it because of how small the world often feels, while we keep having to place a lot of quest items around. Which makes it less and less fun for me to decorate my main valley, because I always have to keep in mind, oh, maybe this new character wants a whole entire lot to place down and it has to be in this area. I can't really focus on decorating my main valley. This is a personal problem of mine, but this list is also a personal list. I actually really like this little pocket dimension that we can decorate, and so it ranks above the valley. Wish Blossom Ranch is a place I have to force myself to decorate even more, and don't get me started on Eternity Isle. So this is the final ranking. Third, we have to talk about the decorating items. And boy, do they look like they would have fitted in nicely with Wish Blossom Ranch and even with Storybook Vale at times. Some things look like they were copy and paste from the Pixie area in Wish Blossom, and we got outfits during Quest that reminded me of items we got in Storybook Vale. I don't mind the style at all. Even if I don't consider myself to be into things that are usually considered cutesy, I do like to decorate with this style if it fits the characters. And while these items did fit the characters and I like decorating with them, Honeyglow is getting less points because it was the same thing that happened with The Sims 4 Cats and Dogs and the My First Pet stuff pack. Also, there is far less new stuff that comes with this pack, because it is an adventure pack and thus more focused on story, but the fact still stands that there is less stuff, and the stuff that is there doesn't feel original compared to other DLCs. With that being said, my original ranking was: in 4th came the Valley, then we got Eternity Isle, in 2nd place came Storybook Vale, and for once, Wish Blossom Ranch took the 1st spot. Where does Honeyglow rank for me? It goes to the number 4 spot, pushing only the main valley up a spot and snugly right in front of Eternity Isle, but by a smidge. Mostly because I don't enjoy decorating with the original modern sleek items we got with the main valley, and Eternity Isle stuff is mostly locked behind time bending, which is not a feature I enjoy a whole darn lot, but I do love Atlantis, so it's still above that, but not a whole darn lot. But Honeyglow is lacking a whole lot of items compared to Storybook and Wish Blossom, so I can't in good faith put it above Eternity Isle. I really don't use the items from the main valley, not the modern sleek ones anyway, so I can't put that above Honeyglow. Our 4th category is features. For Honeyglow, I am counting poo sticks as a new feature, and I considered the honeys and bees, but I will get to that. Mainly because we didn't get a new tool, and I have counted horses as a feature for Wish Blossom and Scramble Coin for Eternity Isle. Now, the nostalgia part of it is adorable, and it was fun for a couple of times, until you realize it's mostly luck-based, and then it got boring and repetitive to me. I kept doing it to get my achievements, but I was literally counting down the moment I would reach my final required game. Now that I think about it, the honey and the bees can also be considered a new feature, although I think that is lacking as well. All the beehives do is generate honey according to a time system, and that's it. We place some flowers around it, looks cute, we get a honey, and repeat. There is nothing more to it than that. So this is a short category, because I only get to talk about poo sticks here, and there wasn't a whole lot to it. The original ranking, last place was for Wish Blossom Ranch's horses, they're just not for me. Then Eternity Isle with time bending and its saving grace scramble coin. In third was Storybook Vale, snippet catching, and on the first spot came all the tools from the main valley. Honeyglow, for me, takes the 5th place here. I don't see a point in continuing to play through poo sticks, if you can call it that, other than the occasional nostalgia trip, and that will be one time a year max. The bees and honey hives are cute new harvestables, but I'm not even sure I should really call this a new feature, not for this list anyway, so it stays snugly on the 5th place. With that, we move on to the final category, the map. I already talked about the map back in the 2nd category. Still, what I believe this adventure pack did really well was creating sizable areas that feel large enough to build in without feeling restricted, while not being too wide and open to feel overwhelming. It has 4 different areas that blend in nicely, but still manage to give off their own charm. I don't feel like there's a whole lot of water or ponds in the way, which is one of my main problems surrounding the main valley, but it's not as open as Storybook Vale or even Wish Blossom Ranch in places. It was easy to navigate through while still offering little nooks and crannies to hide things away if you so wish, which gives the place a bigger feel. My original ranking was: in last place was Eternity Isle, in 3rd came the main valley, in 2nd was the Storybook Vale, and in 1st Wish Blossom Ranch. Now, with Honeyglow, the main valley and Eternity Isle get pushed back and Honeyglow takes the 3rd spot. Even though it's smaller than Eternity Isle and the valley, I'm having more fun in this area when it comes to decorating than I've had in those 2 worlds, which I didn't expect. Mainly because I'm not originally someone who enjoys decorating games, but I disliked The Sims 4 gameplay so much that I began building more and more. And in this game, when you don't have any open quests, do you ever have that? There isn't much else to do but to decorate. So I've slowly but surely been spending more and more time decorating, only to find I'm actually enjoying it. And has led me to buy Planet Zoo and decorate entire zoos in there, which was something I would have never expected 10 years ago. I believe Honeyglow is a perfect middle ground for decorators because it offers a small yet large enough world to decorate in. Why did I compare an adventure pack to full DLCs and a main story? Because I wanted to see how I felt towards this new type of pack compared to what we already got. In the end, I ranked all DLCs and the main story in the last video overall like this: 4. Eternity Isle, 3. The Valley, 2. Wish Blossom Ranch, and on the 1st spot Storybook Vale. After playing through Honeyglow and taking everything into account, I would put this first adventure pack on the number 4 spot, slightly above Eternity Isle. The main reason is that while I loved Eternity Isle's main story, that is the only thing I love about it. Well, except for Scramble Coin, I adore that minigame and still play it. The map, time bending and decorating items though are forgettable to me. Honeyglow has a good story, solid characters, a good map, a strong sense of nostalgia going for it, and decorating is fun to do there with good new items. Notice me saying good a couple of times. While they were good, the story wasn't as great as others on the list. Eternity Isle beats Honeyglow story-wise too. The reason why it isn't higher is because it's only an adventure pack. It's supposed to be short and sweet. It did that well. And I feel like the price was fair for what we got and how much time I am personally going to spend there, so it was worth it to me. The main story and the other 2 DLCs were just better overall. Truth be told, it's hard to beat Storybook Vale for me personally. At the end of the day, whether you get this pack or not is totally up to you. It depends on what you're looking for in a game. If you're not at all into decorating, then the story might be interesting to you, but there are stronger stories out there in DLCs. If you simply want the characters and don't mind paying €17 or dollars for it, then it might be steep. And if you're more into exploration and adventuring like I am, then it begins to scratch an itch, but leaves you still feeling itchy at the end of the main story. This is my new ranking list, updated. Let me know how wrong I am in the comments down below. What did you think of Honeyglow? Were you surprised? Were you let down? Do you still think it's the same money grab, or shameless money grab I should say, as I originally thought it was going to be? Now, I promised at the start of this video that I would give my thoughts and my expectations, my predictions if you will, of some adventure packs we might get. Now, I have 4 and I feel strong about 1. And then there are 3 where I'm like, oh, I could see this happening. The first one is Atlantis. I think the devs know very well that we want Atlantis, or at least a portion of the fanbase does. So of course they can make money off of it, you know? And I'm sure that there is a whole entire story that they can build around it. So either we are going to get it with a main valley update with a new main storyline, or we are going to get an adventure pack. My second one is some kind of old school Toontown, or something equally black, grey and white style. We saw a glimpse of it in Eternity Isle, but it's always cool to return to a world like that. We also did it in Epic Mickey, in some of the levels, so I can see that happening. The third one, strangely enough, is The Incredibles, or maybe Cars. It's a slash, you know, because it's a really unique world. I think that they could build a really good adventure around, especially because the Incredibles are superheroes, so they can easily make an adventure pack out of that. Give us a good storyline, you know? And I think it might be stronger than giving us a realm, to actually give us an adventure pack and make it a good story. And fourth is Robin Hood. Mainly because we got some items now from that pack, like St. John's stand and carriage and his throne, something like that. But I can see them doing that because then you can have a really cool medieval and foresty kind of feel. And you can make an epic story about that. But then again, with most of the storylines from Disney you can make a cool adventure pack. But these are my thoughts. I'm going to keep it at this for now. What did you think of this first adventure pack? Do you want more? Do you want less? Let me know in the comments down below. And maybe give me your own lists. That would be fun. Have a very lovely day and I hope to see you in another video. Goodbye!